Stephen, 7 games in all competitions now for Arsenal without a win. It's Arsenal's worst run of form in 27 years, and they're on a negative goal difference in the Premier League as well. Was the writing on the wall?
I think it was. You don't like to see managers get sacked, but it comes a point where they have to be. And he was losing the faith of the crowd. They're not turning up. I'd like to know, sometimes you want to hear more about the situation behind the scenes. Who bought the players in? Were they his signings? For me, buying David Luiz or Gary Cahill, it was a no-brainer. You're going after Cahill all day. He's more of a leader on the pitch, exactly what Arsenal needed. Pepe, the amount of money they spent on him, hasn't turned up yet, hasn't done enough, sort of 70, 80 million pounds. So you look at the signings and out of that list, who's actually done well? And that's the big difference between the top managers, the likes of Klopp and Guardiola, Brendan Rodgers now, when they're buying players. You can, on one hand, you can list the amount of bad players that they've bought. You look on that list of what Arsenal have bought and there's 10 or 11.
So, Robbie Lyle there says Max Allegri, he would like to see be the next Arsenal manager.
Is he fluent in English, though, Max Allegri? Because there were, issues with Emery, or there seemed to be issues about, the language barrier with him and him getting his points across. Is Allegri fluent?
I don't think he's fluent in English.
Well, there you go.
So who would you think would be the successor?
Look, the best man for the job at this moment in time is Brendan Rodgers. But would he leave Leicester? Well, he left Celtic.
Do you think he'd go now?
Well, he left a team he supported as a boy and the best job in the world at Celtic to downgrade and go to Leicester. So why wouldn't he want to upgrade and go to Arsenal?
Wow.
I think he's personally, it would be my choice because you see at Leicester. A lot of Leicester fans are hammering me this morning because they say...
Well, they hammered you when you played for them, so...
So Fire, stop laughing. So he's got youngsters at Leicester, which he's integrated into the team. He makes people better. He's got experience. The mix. And Arsenal have got so many young players coming through as well. And let's be fair, Arsenal is a globally massive football club. Yeah. And for me, that would be the natural step for Brendan Rodgers in his career. Listen, Leicester, they're not going to win the Premier League, but he's doing an amazing job.
You can't say they're not going to win the Premier League.
Leicester,
it's unlikely they're going to win the Premier League, but they're going extremely well. We didn't think they'd win it the other season.
Are Leicester going to win the Premier League?
Hey?
Are Leicester going to win the Premier League?
I don't think they will, but you can't rule it out, Rob.
Of course you can. They're not going to win it.
But say if Brendan Rodgers jumps ship now and goes to Arsenal and it doesn't work out well for him, what happens after that? Because every club then looks at him and goes, well, he jumped ship too early. He always jumps for the next opportunity.
But he didn't jump ship at Chelsea too early, did he?
Well, come on, let's not
He
get
didn't,
to that.
did he?
But listen, on a serious note, if you're a Leicester fan, wouldn't you like to hear Brendan Rodgers come out and say, I am totally committed to Leicester. I am not going to go to Arsenal. He had the chance to do that yesterday, and did he? No.
Interesting. There's other Premier League managers that have been linked with the Arsenal job as well. Nuno Espirito Santo, Karen. Could you see him leaving Wolves to go to Arsenal?
Possibly. He's another good fit as well. You've seen what he's done with Wolves. I know the chairman put in a 10-year plan with him, and he's done a fantastic job. Brought in a lot of good players, worked with them. He can deal with a lot of number of games in Europe. But I actually agree with you guys. I think Brendan Rodgers for me. I just think he's the more calibre fit. But like we just spoke about, would he leave Leicester? Because I think it's, in terms of the squad at the moment, it's a step down. I think the Leicester squad's better than the Arsenal squad. So how long would it take any manager to go in and get Arsenal great again? I think it would take a few years, and I think the Arsenal fans are quite difficult to win over. So you have to think very carefully about taking this Arsenal job. So would Brendan or Nuno take it? I don't know. They're at two really clubs that love them dearly and they're doing very well with them.
When you see how well Frank Lampard has done at Chelsea, could you not see Arsenal giving Freddie Ljungberg the job long term?
Possibly. It just depends, doesn't it? I was really interested by his tweet yesterday, because you can read it one or two ways. You can either look at it and say, who's he trying to put smiles on the faces of, the fans or the players? Now, I read it straight away as the players. Yes, and I thought, as an assistant manager, you've been poor to your manager.
Yeah.
And you've shown him a lack of respect there by, if you think there was a problem before it, you should have gone in and said something and you should have tried to correct it. And that's something that I looked at straight away and thought, don't quite like that. So I was quite disappointed in that comment.
Well, on Thursday, I don't think I ever saw Freddie come out into the you know, the dugout area and actually give any instructions out. I didn't see him. He left his manager quite isolated.
So are you two both saying he didn't give Unai Emery the support?
I don't think so. I didn't see him out there with him, helping him or getting out there.
Yeah, I just think from that tweet as well, it's almost like
he may have been told not to go out into the technical area. We don't know what he was instructed to do. I think that's harsh.